Yeah, so when I was growing up in Germany, he had a whole company that actually focused on organizing hip hop events. So
Wow.
not just breaking events, right? How we know it now, but full on hip hop events, you know. So and it had all of the elements involved.
All right, so I have a question for you, and it really just randomly popped in my head, and and we're gonna, just roll with me, right?
All right.
So you hear somebody say you break like a girl.
Mhm.
First off, what do you think they mean, and what is your response?
You know, the funny thing is, they're trying to give me a compliment.
Okay. Okay.
When they're for me, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I mean, if they're saying it to a dude, it's not a compliment, right?
Definitely
But you
not.
know, which is crazy, but whatever. But
Right.
so when they're saying it to me, they're trying to give me a compliment and be like, yo, you break like a girl. You're not breaking like a dude. Like, you know, so many girls, B girls, they look like dudes. They look like guys. They, you know, all that stuff, right? So, but you, Maka, you break like a girl.
And that is exactly what I was thinking.
Mhm.
Because when I okay, so first off, the first time I saw you, it felt like you just came out of nowhere. Right? I'm sure you didn't. You just came into my, knowledge out of nowhere. But that was one of the first things I thought. I was
Yeah.
like, she actually breaks like a girl. And what
Mhm.
I meant was like you bring your feminine energy to the dance,
Yeah.
which is dope. That doesn't mean like and like instantly I wasn't thinking like,
Mhm.
oh, she breaks all like weaker and all that stuff like that, because
No,
that's
yeah.
not really what breaks like a girl even means. What I
Mhm.
meant was, she's not out here trying to be, a dude.
Yeah.
And that I think is important. How important do you think it is for like women and girls that participate in this dance to not feel any pressure to like kind of adopt a masculine male energy, but be comfortable being a female and still pushing their physical limits as far as being dope with the moves?
Right. So here's it, and it's so funny because I just had this conversation like a few days ago, you
No
know,
doubt.
with somebody because he was like, yeah, you know, trying to give me a compliment, you know. but the thing that I always want to make clear, there's no one way to be a woman, right? There's
Right.
no one way to have female energy, you know.
Mm,
So I think it's just the way that I choose is more of an acceptable way for people to look at female energy, you know, and in a way that people are comfortable with, you know, to look at female energy, you know, they're used to it, you know. Um so like and I will also say this, you know, for how I was coming up with in breaking, um there was also a lot of trauma that I would deal with of having to constantly be told like break like a girl. You know what I mean? Bring this woman like you like I need to do that. You know what I mean?
hmm.
So I had to come out of that actually, you know? So cuz that's something that I also still fight with, you know?
Okay.
But at the same time yeah, I the way I break is obviously the way I break, you know, and
Hmm.
the way the femininity energy that I bring is my personal femininity energy, feminine energy,
No
right?
doubt.
But I want B girls or you know girls that come with them breaking to understand that my feminine energy is not the only way. You know what I mean? It's we all have our own feminine energy that we can bring to breaking, you know? So
Hmm.
it's and even and for men, but that's a whole different conversation that people don't understand that for like with as women and men we all have feminine and masculine energy, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's for everybody, you know. So um but again it's for me it's important for B girls to understand it's not just one way. So there are some B girls that feel more comfortable moving a certain way that's perceived as more masculine or whatever, you know. There are women within breaking that feel more comfortable with wearing bigger clothes because that's a whole thing as well. People, you know, will be like, oh, B-girl, she's trying to look like a dude, you know, because she's wearing baggier clothes or, you know, looser clothing, you know. So, but which also intermingles with the fact of feeling safe and secure because of other issues that are within breaking, and guys, you know, saying things when you wear tighter clothing, when you know, like it's
Miss Macca, are you trying to go beyond the cipher early? You
I mean,
going, you getting it?
I know, because it's all so connected. Oh my god! Like, I'm sorry, we don't have to go be. You know, I don't.
Yeah, no, we gonna go there, but we just, you know,
right. But I guess the point I'm trying to make, that it's also connected. You know, so it's not just like oh, feminine energy and that's it. You know,
no doubt, no doubt.
So it's just it's very layered. You know, so but yeah, and for me, like when you ask me, I have to speak on the different layers, you know, because it's not just one way, you know. So but yeah, so I definitely think, you know, I mean, there are women that feel more comfortable with their masculine aspect, you know, energy within them, you know. So that doesn't diminish the way they move, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean, oh, they're not being B-girls. They are B-girls, period, you know. So I just choose in the way I move to bring my specific feminine energy, you know, because I'm a little sassy, I'm a little, you know what I mean, like, so that's what I choose to bring, you know. So I think it's very important to let women bring whatever they want to bring to it, you know. So, yeah.
And when you lay it out like that, I guess, and I think you touched on it while you were speaking, but I guess it goes the same for guys, right? All male energy ain't the same. Like me,
right.
When I'm breaking, you know, I'm pointing gun, I'm doing all kind of stuff that is Chris energy, you know what I'm saying? And every guy doesn't have to do that to be considered like a male or something, you know what I'm saying? Right. Or like, no, I feel you. Yeah. I do. So, so early 2000s, you're getting into breaking, right? What is the Philly scene like at that time?
Oh man, I think it's definitely not what it is now, but I think like
wait, not what it is now, like it's improved, or not what it is now, like it's declined since then?
Oh, it's, you know, my first instinct will probably be like, it's declined since then, but you know, every generation has its own you know, experience, you know what I mean?
Ebbs and flow, yeah.
Yeah, but so I would probably definitely be for me in general, I'm happy the generation that I came up in, you know, besides whatever personal experience, you know, but like just looking at, you know, just the quality of it, you know, like that's, I'm glad I came out of that, because I break the way I break because I came out of that generation, you know.
Wow.
So so but yeah, I mean, it was just I think it was just like, even overall, like in terms of breaking period, you know, it's that early 2000, like I started breaking in 2004, you know, so it's like that generation that's right before YouTube, you know, but like still has some of that rawness from what was going on before, you know. So but it's kind of transitioning into the, you know, internet YouTube generation.
You caught the tail end of that regional style era.
Exactly.
No doubt. Where you can be like, oh, she's from Philly, or she's from Florida, or she's from Cali, something like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, so yeah, catching that tail end of all of that, you know. So so that's why I feel like, yeah, I'm appreciative, you know, coming out of that time, you know, but also appreciative coming out of that time in terms of, you know, like having that specific style, you know, knowing where somebody's coming from, like, oh yeah, they from New York, they from whatever, you know. So, but also being appreciative of not being stuck in that that era, you know. Like, I think a lot of people get stuck in that era, you know,
and they've gotten left behind.
Yeah, you know, and just look at it one way, you know, like in that specific way. So So I do think I'm grateful in terms of coming out at a time where we were moving into the new era of it, of like, you know, being at competitions and being able to see it online and be able to, you know, all of that stuff. There's moving to that era of accessibility, if you want to say. But the reason why we were so appreciative still is because we caught the tail end of, you know, that raw type of era, you know. So it's not like, I feel like the generation that moved forward, you know, is not as appreciated because they're in that quick accessibility, you know, space. So but Philly, so Philly was during that time that I was coming up was, you know, like it was so much going on still in the scene in terms of crews and in terms of, you know, citywide battles and like beef and all that stuff, you know. You still like all that regional stuff, you know.
Right. So you guys, you know, your rival would have been like New York or something, right?
Yeah, New York, or even still within the city, you know what I mean? Like,
wow. Okay, there you go.
You know, issues within the city, you know. So but yeah, it would have been New York was probably the main ones, you know. So a little bit of New Jersey maybe here, like, you know, but New York was like, yeah, the main one. But yeah, so it was still getting a taste of all of that, you know. So yeah, and just the soulfulness of Philly and just the different crews that were there, and just just the energy. I came up in that energy of putting the city on a map, you know, like just working, going to, you know, going to different cities, putting in that work, you know. So
right.
Yeah, so that's what it was like. We're still in a stage probably where, you know, many of these companies, and I think the good thing about the Olympics is we'll further advance in a stage where we can set more of what we want, you know, when we have those eyes, you know, on us. So but I think so like for me and my generation, probably it's still more so what they will offer us, you know. So so that's been my experience, but
for more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Let us know how we're doing down in the comment section, and to make sure that you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace until the next episode.